back. We're so glad you're here. I'm Dr. Anna Marie.
And I'm Cortney McDermott.
And today we are talking about the art of communication. And I actually minored in communications at university. And that was many, many years ago. But I feel like the art of communication has come through me by knowing who I am and not expecting anything out of anyone else that I'm with, like when I'm with them and I'm communicating with them, and coming from a place of curiosity and understanding and not blame. So I communicate very differently now than how I used to. And I think that communication is something that, yes, it's taught, but I think it's also something we get to experience from having those tough conversations, having the loving conversations, saying how we're feeling. And what comes up for you around this?
Yeah, for me, the best communicators are the listeners. They're in deep listening with themselves, and therefore they can be in deep listening with others. And if there's just one thing that anyone gets out of this, it's the deep listening. And it takes us back actually to that inner teacher piece from the very beginning of these episodes, is just get with yourself. People don't want to get with themselves and therefore can't get with others. Yeah. And if you can't get with others, if you can't acknowledge listen, stay in deep listening, acknowledgement, and then giving that gift away because you've learned it, because you've mastered it. That's communication. That is the kind of communication that if we all were in that space of deep listening to ourselves and others, we would not be seeing, these sirens wouldn't be going off right now. We would be living in a very different world. And we have that potential. We have it right now.
Yeah.
We have it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Communication. Here's the sirens.
We can practice our vocal warm-ups with this. We're not going to cut this out, by the way. We're going to leave all this juiciness in. There's even someone throwing some trash away. Like, this is all happening. This is life. Happening all around us. We chose, actually, you may have seen this or heard of this in an earlier episode of ours, that we chose to do this out here today, regardless of what was going to show up. We had a hummingbird make a debut. We had, we've got some sirens in here. We got some leaf blowers.
We got a black cat up in a tree.
We got a black cat in a tree. We got all the things. And the reason we chose that is because we really wanted to share what it's like when you're communicating from this real place. Yeah. If you feel parts of yourself on edge when you're talking or whatever, it's because that deep listening needs to happen, is calling to happen. You will feel it instantaneously in someone else when they're communicating with you in ways that somehow feel false. And that's because they haven't really been in deep communication with themselves. So when you learn this art that we're talking about and that we share and that we're also going to be expanding and expounding upon in our January 4th workshop together, once you've got that kind of mastery, it leads to so much mastery in other areas of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just love this.
I know.
It was so great.
We've got fire truck.
Oh, really? You can't even hear it? Oh, David says you can't even hear it, which is kind of a bummer because you just got a show.
Yeah, we got it all
right.
over.
Our producer says you can't hear it, so there we go. Yeah, we're good.
But there's a lot happening around us.
There's a lot, yeah.
But I think it's like, even with all of that just went on around us, it's coming back to this and coming back home. Here. And it's just, I don't know. I think if anyone's going to get anything out of these episodes that we've done thus far, it is that trusting, that inner peace, being okay inside no matter what's going on around you. And when it comes to communication, there are millions, if not trillions of things being communicated to us all the time. And those things that are being communicated to us, we are filtering them through all of our past experiences, healed or unhealed. And then we're bringing them back in and we're making them mean something. So When it comes to communication, I have a little story for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I did this class like a long time ago. It was like a workshop and it was really cool. They talked about 4 different types of communicators. And I actually do a workshop referring back to these because I think it's so fun. One was the analytical person, and they're like analyzing everything, bullet points for everything, very organized. Then there's the director. They are like quick to the point, like let's get stuff done. And then there's the cheerleader who wants to make everything excited and like, yay, okay, let's make this a party. That's my sister. I love her. Awesome. And then there is the volunteer. No matter what, they've got your back. They're always showing up. They're making things happen. So there's different types of communicators. Anyways, so I learned this in this class, and I'm very direct. So like if somebody sends me a message, I'm like straight to the point, and then I'm like I have to go back and put good morning. Right? Because I'm already like on to the next thing. Or, and so that does not come naturally to me. And then my husband, he is the analytical. So I can be like, ask him a question, and he's like taking forever to answer me. And I'm sitting there like, babe, did you even listen to anything I just said? Hello? Did you not hear the question? Anyways, when I learned about this, it made so much sense. In the mornings at my home, I'll wake up, I'll come downstairs. My husband's already up. He's usually standing there with his coffee or sitting at the table with his coffee. And I would be like, good morning. And then I would like ask him a question, and he would be quiet. And I'd be like, are you okay? Like, good morning. Is everything okay? Are you mad this morning? Like, I would literally ask him if he was mad. He wasn't mad. He was just processing. Like, if you are married to an analytical person and you are the director or the direct communicator, us directors, we have to sit back and take a moment. And it takes some work. But the moment I started doing that, like, I realized my husband's not mad at me all the time. He actually does hear me. Like, he is listening. It's just that's his form of communication. So, anyways, I thought I'd throw that in there because there's an art to communicating and understanding how someone else communicates, as well as understanding how you communicate. It can really help you show up in the world and communicate more effectively. And that's just one layer of this monstrous beast of communication.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. When you're talking about it too, your husband in the morning, I'm thinking of the power of silence as well, and how afraid so many people are of silence. And, you and I, we talk on stages all over the world, thousands of people, right? And for me, I find that the most potent things I can share are in the space between. There's that Zen saying of it's the silence between, it's the silence between the bars that holds the space between the bars that holds the tiger. And it's the silence between the notes that makes the music. And you couldn't have the music if it was just one big sound, right? And one big bang.
I'm one big bang.
You are the big bang. You are, my friend. And at the same time, it's like that space, that space for expansion into something new. And you're right. The subject of communications, I mean, we could both give days and days and days of seminar around communication and still have barely scratched the surface. And at the same time, there are essential things to know that once you know them, you will completely shift your relationship with yourself and the world around you. And a couple of the ones that we just talked about, just the silence, the really getting with the listening, the deep listening, get with yourself, get with what's in front of you, get with it, and to open up to that is to open up to a lot of possibilities for yourself that you're not seeing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
But yeah, I love me some communication. So this conversation could just go on and on.
Yes.
What is one thing that you would say for people who are looking to be better communicators or looking to understand something about the art of communication?
Beyond the listening piece another thing that really helped me in my marriage and my communication to my employees around tough conversations is using I statements. So
instead of you're doing this thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like with my husband, with his coffee, like sharing with him, like, you know, hey babe, I know you're not meaning to seem mad in the morning, but when you don't answer me right away, I feel like you're mad. And I know that's not what you're intending to put out there. It's just like, that's just what I've put in my head. And he's like, oh, no, babe, I love you. Bring it in. Like, you know, like, no. And then knowing now with the analytical communicator and the direct communicator, now there's some space there. Like you were saying, like, I get to ask the question and I get to just be like, okay.
Yeah.
And just like not need the answer right away.
Right.
You know, but the I statements too. And even in hard conversations, just showing up as like, I didn't intend to make you feel this way. And I'm sorry if it came across blah, blah, blah. And like some people are like, wait, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
Because
it's confusing.
Right. Because often people can be brought up in a household that whoever gets to the highest octave first wins the argument. Like you and I.
Family of 5 kids. Each one of us were number 4.
Right. Whoever is the loudest gets heard.
Yeah.
It might be why I'm such a loud person.
Wrestle your way in.
But it is. And so we, you know, I think I shared in one of the other episodes, I was raised by a mom that was pregnant at 17, a dad that dropped out of high school, 2 people living in fight or flight. We do not communicate well from a space of fear, of fight or flight. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. So then if you're brought up in a household like that, how are you supposed to learn how to communicate? It's just, it doesn't happen unless you sit down and you have real conversations. You go to seminars, you learn some of these things, but also it also comes back to getting quiet inside. I had to own how I was showing up with my communication with a lot of people when I started learning all of this. And then when I started being like, oh, and I like think back to when I first started my career, even 20 years ago. And I'm like, part of me would be like, oh, I kind of cringe, you know, like everything was everyone else's fault. And, you know, it was like blame. That's a form of communication. And I was communicating that into the field that everyone else was wrong. I was, you know, that nothing was working out for me. And that was amplified out there because I wasn't okay inside, because I didn't know how to express how I was feeling. I didn't know how to talk to my boss. I didn't know how to communicate effectively. And it is an art because it's like an ongoing thing.
Well, yeah, and that nonverbal communication, we all pick up on it. I'll often ask people, I'll say, you know, have you ever come into a room and you felt like the people in the room had been talking about you?
Oh, yeah.
And every single person I've ever asked that question to has responded yes.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yes.
It's never been someone saying, no, I've never felt that before. Never felt it in my whole life. Never felt it.
Yeah.
There's some sort of nonverbal communication. This was one of the beauties of learning different languages when I was living around the world and picking up different languages was I learned so much about what's not being said.
Yes.
And the gifts that it gave me in also understanding congruency, because you may be saying something to me with your tongue and your mouth and forming these words in this specific language, but what you're telling me energetically and through your vibrational frequency, through the thought patterns that you're holding, could be starkly in contrast to that.
Yeah.
What we're talking about and what we're building in these sessions together and what we're doing together on January 4th is get into alignment so that when you speak, your word is like thunder.
Yes. It cannot be heard.
Yeah, it cannot not be heard. Yeah, I love it. Let's go for the double negative all the way. Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It is. It's that amplification.
Yeah.
And people feel that.
Exactly.
You can feel when someone's BSing you.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You can feel when someone's not being genuine.
Yes.
I mean, that's just in I will say this. If you feel that you've been burned quite a few times in your life, there's there's a frequency thing that's going on where you're not in alignment of knowing who you are.
Your value that we talked about in the last
value that helps you align to have that red flag go up.
And say no.
Yeah.
No more.
No. Yeah. Like that, because I think some people can be like, oh, well, I just get burned and things just happen to me. You can't trust people. And it's like, actually, there's so many people you can trust.
Oh, you can trust. The minute you start moving into that trust frequency, that, again, is when everything shifts.
And you'll call in people that you can trust.
Yes.
So that, I think, is a message, a clue that maybe there's something out of alignment that you can choose to shift and do. So you're not continuously experiencing that racket coming back to you of something you don't want.
Amen.
All right.
Girl.
Well, there's so much more. We just scratched the surface. And I can't wait to do more episodes. We're so glad you guys decided to show up and that you were here today. And we have a lot more wonderful things to come.
Yeah. So much gratitude. Peace.